Now we're going to put that box in. Before we put the box in, make sure you carefully measure it. The width and the height for before the tabs. These tabs are going to fit over the sheetrock, remember. So take your measurements, transfer them over here now. Okay, I just took a tape measure and marked a 4 down there, and in the middle, and up here. And then I just kind of eyeballed and put a couple little lines there. Okay. Now I've measured this box. You don't want to just make the assumption that this box height is the same as your cut-in box, but I measured it and it is. I don't have a straight edge on me, but here's my little hacksaw blade. I'm just going to line that up, use that as my straight edge. And this box looked like it was straight, and I measured it and it was okay. Just going to use that as my straight edge. There. Okay, now we're going to cut that out with a sheetrock saw. Make sure you have your wires out of the way because you don't want to hit those. And you're just going to go slow. Don't go fast or anything. Just go slow. Little strokes. Like that. Okay, make sure this wire, you're not going to hit the wire back in there. And if you do, you're just barely touching it with the end. See, I'm actually hitting the insulation because this is an exterior wall, so when I hit the insulation it moves the wire. Okay, but that's why you want to use this by hand. You can go by feel. You don't want to cut this out with a sawzall or anything. Okay, just short strokes, easy as you go. Line that up. Don't go too far. Okay, now poke it in or wiggle it around. Up and down. Oop. That. And we're going to go ahead and cut that down there now. Okay, we got that cut. Pull that out of there. Now we've got a lot more room here to look at this, and we're going to push these wires now back in the wall, resituate the insulation, and we're going to push these wires back in the wall because I'm going to take the cut-in box. Before I try to start fishing wires and all that, I want to do a dry run and make sure that this fits before I do anything, okay? Because that way I can push these wires into the wall, get them out of my way, push this in. If it doesn't fit, I can pull it out and gently trim around there, try it again, then pull my wires back out. Thought something felt funny when I was cutting that. I didn't have my gloves on. Always a good idea to have your gloves on. Okay, so I'm just going to take these wires and roll them up a little bit, bend them, push that down into the wall. I know it's not hot, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. Bend that and twist it. Okay. Now I can get my cut-in box and I can fit that in and see if it's going to fit. Okay, see, it's hitting at the bottom edge there. So it's a good thing I checked that. I can re-trim this, straighten this out just a bit. Trim off the back side edge of the sheetrock just so it kind of helps get this box in there, okay? That. Now I can check the box again. Fit it in there. Okay, see, now it's going to fit nice. See there? Looks like it looks really good. I could trim off the edge here if I wanted to adjust the box a little bit if I think it needs it, which I think I'm going to. Okay, so I'm just going to shave this a little, not much. just want a little slop. That way, if I need to straighten up the box, I can before I tighten it up. And the cover plate's going to cover because I'm hardly cutting any. Easy little strokes. There we go. Good thing I got my craft paper on the ground. Put that back in. Now see, I got a little bit of a slop, and that's fine. I'll split the difference, and then I can push this over like that, or the top over, or whatever. So that's going to fit good. Okay. Now I'm going to, you remember, we got this out of the way now. I'll pull these wires back out of here and get this resituated. Just going to kind of get these wires, this wire out of the way. Reach up in there, that wire down, that out of the way. As you remember, the second light switch is going to control a plug outside, so we got to get 2 wires down here. We got to fish those down the wall. Now that I got a bigger box here, I can do that. I can fit my hand down in there and all kinds of good stuff. Okay, so now the trick is I've got to try to fish a wire up. I'm going to try from the bottom up first and see if I can reach it and pull it out. And that's probably the way I'm going to have to do it. Okay? Or you can always try from the top down if you got a plug in the same bay. Because you remember, we don't have them. We're not in the same bay. We've got a 2x4 here. We're fishing a wire through it and coming up to the box. That's a lot trickier. Usually what you want to do is when you put a cut-in box in or something, you want to stay within that bay. Between the 2 studs, it's called a bay. You want to stay between that, then you can fish your wire up the wall, down the wall to a box, whatever. Okay, but this one's a little bit trickier, so you're getting the full Monty on this project.